No, it's a suburb.
I'm breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on. This light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realized it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love.
Where's the Harley? With the cats.
3, 2, 1.
Boom, boom. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome, everyone on the internet. We appreciate you being here with all of us here in person because we are back in person. Yay! And of course, I always want to start out with reminding you that you are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself everything that you desire. And we're going to talk about that today. That word desire, that brings up another word, and that's the word we're going to talk about today. But first, we want to get into who we are, what's going on here, our statement of principles, and those are right behind me, our beautiful sign, because I did find our flag. Yay! Found the flag! For those online, there's a flag outside so people will know we're here, and so I got to put all three of these up here. So our purpose statement, of course, is right here, and that is to reveal the divinity in you. And in order to do that, we need to have a vision, and our vision is to vibrate at the speed of the divine. And then once we do that, we can get into our mission. And our mission statement is to, of course, bust through, soar, and zoom. And that's what I expect us all to do in all kinds of different ways in parts of our lives, is to bust through, soar, and zoom. Now, this month, the month of, what are we in? We're in October. I almost said November. I'm thinking ahead. Mindful, stay in the now. In the month of October, our highlighting statement of principle is our vision statement, which is vibrate at the speed of the divine. And like I did last week and the week before, and I will for the next couple of weeks, is read this fabulous quote from Meister Eckhart, who was a Catholic mystic in the Middle Ages. And he wrote, "The eye with which I see God is the same with which God sees me." And I think that's something important to always remember. You know, that's why we're here. I was thinking about that on the drive here. Our job here to get together is not only, of course, to hug and see each other and talk about what's going on in life and with our friends, but is to remind ourselves of the things that we tend to forget because of the chaos and the mishigosh, as my family might say, of what goes on in life and what goes on around us. And sometimes we react to these things, and most of the time, at least, we're smart enough to respond to these things. But in those moments of reaction, that's when we go back to remembering all this stuff that every week we talk about, and every week I will continue to talk about and remind you and myself. Don't think I don't need reminding, because I do sometimes, of why we're here and what we know already, but what we continue to know better. All right. So the next thing we want to do is bring ourselves into our sacred space. Are you ready for that, Steve? Steve's ready for that. And can you turn that up a little bit on your end, just so they can hear the tinkle tinkle? Now, of course, in order to get into your sacred space, you don't need to be anywhere special. You could be at home, you could be here, you could be outside in the sun, watching the sky jog by, listening to the cars go by, because the sacred space is inside. So let's all take a deep breath, slow breath together through our nose. Hold it, please. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do that one more time. As you continue to breathe normally, know that as you breathe in, God is. As you exhale, I am. You are. Each of us are that power. Feet on the floor, those of you, please do so. Maybe on your hands. Know that at this time we enter into our sacred space, opening our heart and mind to awaken to the highest and deepest part of our divine selves. We plant the seeds of our greatest adventure, nurturing them with water of faith, soil, calling in wisdom from ancient times, to science. Now let's together transcend time and space into the grace of the power. There's things right here with us. 1, 2, your own way, connect yourself to the beloved eye and to the planet. We are one. There's an energy there, a force there, that loves to share with each and every one of us. Find your way to our energy. So too from all around us, but we always seem to feel it from above, but it's actually all around us, like the rays of the sun. It's now power of God, God's Spirit, shine its light upon us, allow it to intentionally be to us. Feel the warmth at the top of your head. Down your arms, out your feet. It continues to flow down past your neck, down the energy centers, the chakras. Say the energy centers along the base of your spine till it hits the bottom. It connects with your higher. Feel this vibration. Vibrating at the speed. This morning, before I give you a minute or two or three to listen to Spirit, speak to you personally. I want to read from you the Radiance of Sutras, this passage. It says, Radiant One, the life essence carries on its play through the pulsing rhythm of outward and inward movement. This is the ceaseless throb, the rhythm of life, the rhythm of eternity, exquisite in its constancy. In the inhalation, the return movement of breath, we sustain life. With the outgoing of breath, we purify life. That God is. These are the two poles between which respiration goes on unceasingly, and between them is every delight you could ever desire. Even when the senses are turned outward, your attention on the external world attend also to the inner throb, the pulsing of the creative impulse within you. Breath, we are informed. See. Breath, we reveal, transform, transcend. The senses are turned outward. Your attention on the external world, attend also to the inner throb, pulsing of the creative impulse. Let's take a deep breath together. Know together there is one mind, one power, one is yours. The mind works within each and every one of us, not only in meditative moments, but in all moments of the day, the year of your life. And in this power and presence, we attach our intelligence to its wisdom. We attach our manifesting power to its creative power that created the entire universe, the planets, the stars. We connect, we commune, we sit in joy and light. Not only now, but today, tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. In appreciation and gratitude, let us release this word together into the law that says yes, with light and love. We say, and so it is. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes slowly. Please slowly open your eyes if they're closed. Sacred space, a sacred moment. If you weren't before, some of you might have already been there before you got here. Good on you. So some more words of wisdom we have today. I hope you heard her sing last week. It was so great. Go ahead, take your mask off. Should I take my mask off? Yes. But I will stand 3 feet away from you. I guess 3 feet is the thing now. So my friends, please welcome Reverend Barbara Altman for some wisdom and our affirmative incantation. Well, step right up. Before we do that, you will notice that there are 2 affirmative incantation cards on your seat. The one for today is the purple one. The other one is one that I picked up that I had forgotten to pick up from 18 months ago. Wow. Because we didn't have that service in person. That was the first service that we stopped having in person. So I thought it'd be fun for everyone to have that card as well. Reverend Barbara.
Hello, everybody. Woo. First, I want to say that I'm really excited to be back having live in-person services and to see you all because it's been way the heck too long. So today I wanted to talk about enthusiasm and energy. And I don't know about you all, but for a while, finding energy was an issue for me. I think with all of the pandemic inactivity and all of the stuff going on, and a body at rest tends to stay at rest. Yeah, along with just getting older, although that isn't an accurate indicator of energy level. But I was kind of feeling blah. And it was even back in February, I talked about trying to summon enthusiasm, and I was struggling a bit back then, but I made a commitment to practice and work on it. And I've been much more successful at generating enthusiasm. And enthusiasm creates energy, and energy creates a space where more enthusiasm thrives. So it's a nice cycle there once you get started and work on it. And outward activity helps, getting some exercise, of course. And lately we've been out and about and doing a few things, and not nearly as much as we used to, which is actually nice because sometimes it could get a little frenetic. So we've decided we want to keep it a little slower pace. And I've been spending more time on creative projects. And I've been enjoying working on my novel, and it feels, yay. And it feels very satisfying. And I think being creative definitely increases energy, and faith helps. And I am remembering that I don't have to manufacture enthusiasm and energy through a flurry of activity or through the force of my own will. The word enthusiasm comes from the Greek enthusiasmos, meaning inspiration by God. So there's an inspiration, there's a divine energy that I get to tap into. And there's this divine, unlimited energy that's within me, that's within each one of you. And all we need to do is be open to it. We just need to allow it to flow. And that divine energy will always sustain us and allow us to do and express and to be our highest, best, and most creative selves. Yeah. And today's reading is from this thing called You. Y'all know that's my favorite book by Ernest Holmes. Okay, hopefully we're not using the same one, but it goes like this. Since the only life you can have is the life of spirit within you, you need but permit its radiance to flow through your thought into self-expression. You are surrounded by a dynamic force, a great surge of living power. You are immersed in and saturated with the vital essence of life. Its presence permeates everything, binding all together in one complex whole. All right. And if you want to get your affirmation cards out, get ready and read along with me. Today's affirmative incantation. My energy is God's energy. Today I grab all the gusto there is. I harness the rays of the sun to power my every move. I harvest the surge of the Falls of Niagara and the mighty Mississippi to electrify my life with the watts and volts of great health, cherished experiences, and dynamic relationships. Today, I gravitate to the authentic frequency of the divine source and substance of all. I am in the infinite flow of life. I vibrate at the speed of the divine. And now if you'd like to take a deep breath and close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or keep them open, whichever, and join me in knowing that God is absolutely present right here, right now. I am just feeling that presence that is in and through me, in and through each one of you. God is at the center of our being and all around us. We are immersed in it. We are it. And that divine power, that divine creative energy flows through us at all times. And I know right here and right now that we have everything that we need in this moment and each and every moment. That God within us is that source of everything, of that love, those divine inspired relationships. That we have that abundance, that everything, that allness, that fullness of life is with us at all times, in our finances, in our health, in our relationships, in our wild creativity. And I just open to accept all of this, all of the good that is right there in front of me and within me and all around me. I breathe it in. And I let it be with gratitude. I give thanks and I release this to that divine law, knowing that it was done before the words were even spoken, because it is that eternal truth. And so it is.
Yay. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Applause, 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 applause. So I'm going to move the mic just a little bit this way and see if I need to turn everything on again. So, Tinkerbell just, they still do that? They still have Tinkerbell? You guys go to Disneyland. Well, not all the time, but have you gone since reopen? Oh, yeah. What? What's wrong with you? Of course I have. All right. So I have a little ditty for you guys. So let's there we go. I've got the world on a string. I'm sitting on a rainbow. I got that string around my finger. Oh, what a world, oh, what a life. I'm in love. I've got a song that I sing, and I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Oh, what a world, oh, what a life, oh, spirit is in me. Life's a wonderful thing, as long as I hold that string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string. I'm sitting on a rainbow. I got that string around my finger. Oh, what a world, what a life. Spirit is in me. You know, life's a wonderful thing, as long as I hold on to that string. I'd be a crazy so-and-so if I should ever let it go. I've got the world on a string. I'm sitting on a rainbow. I got that string around my finger. Oh, what a world, what a life. Oh, what a world, what a life. What a world, what a life. Because I'm with God. Oh, I, the divine, that's me. I reveal the divine when I got that world on a string. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I've got the world on a string, great old Harold Arlen song, and that brings me to what I'm going to talk about today. I was thinking a lot this week about this word that I want to get rid of. the word want. So in our society, we're taught, we're motivated, we're influenced to have more and more and more. I want more. Anybody ever think that in their mind? You don't have to answer out loud. More and more and more. We live in this consumerist kind of society, and we're practically forced to buy stuff all the time. We got to have the new this, the better that, the ultimate them. And some people even use it as a kind of an addiction, have an addiction of sorts. We spend to forget. We spend to ignore what's going on in our lives. We spend to turn away from our problems. And I'm not saying that that's a horrible thing, actually, because sometimes doing that helps us step into all this stuff again. It's like a first step to return. But we also know that that doesn't solve our problems, right? Doing that. Now, like I said, I have nothing against spending the money, your money, the way you want to spend your money, just like I have nothing against you thinking any way that you think. Now, I'd like to have a little influence. I think we all would like to have a little influence on how you think. But what you think, that's your life. But does it bring you a sense of joy? What you think? Now, you all have probably heard of Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo goes and tells people that if this doesn't bring you joy, then throw it out or donate it. Now, she's usually helping you declutter a room or your closet or something like that. But the method that she uses, and this is not something that she really made up, it's called the KonMari method. And what it basically is saying, what is the difference between the emotional memory of this thing that you have, and that could be ideas too, it doesn't have to be a thing, it doesn't have to be a book or whatever, and versus the spark of joy that it gives you right now, right in this minute. If I pick this up, is there a spark of joy? Yes, because there's so much riches in this book. I do not want to lose it. In fact, it reminds me recently when I think it was last December, when I finally got all my stuff out of this old apartment that I had had for 20-something years. And I wasn't even living there for the last 5 or 6 years. But I had stuff there, and I was kind of subletting a room, the apartment, and then that ended. And then I had some stuff in boxes in one of my ex-neighbors' garage, and just got to the point was like, get out of there or live there. But we had already decided we weren't going to live there. So most of what I have acquired over my life, other than the usual necessities, a car and all that kind of stuff, a couple of clothes, is books. Hundreds of books, maybe even 1,000 books. I had plays, hundreds of plays, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, what am I going to do with this stuff? So I actually did this. What brings me joy? And most of the stuff were stuff like this. And I have a whole huge bookcase of stuff like this, and maybe just a couple other boxes of other books as well. So I did this. So what sparks joy in you? What ideas, what stuff, and if they don't anymore, then you get rid of them. Okay, so back to what this talk is really about, and that is this word, want. The first thing I'd like us to do is rid ourselves with this word want. Do not want anymore. I want to take that word out of our vocabulary. Here's a great quote by Andy Warhol. Get this. As soon as you stop wanting something, you get it. Who knew Andy Warhol was spiritual? Thought he just liked soup cans and going to Studio 54. As soon as you stop wanting something, you get it. So let's go to dictionary definitions. And I went to the Oxford Dictionary, and it says, as a verb, the word want is to have a desire to possess something, wish for something. Now, you all know how I feel about that word wish. Another word to lose or have for merely a second in your mouth and mind. The second verb definition is ought, should, or need to do something. So when you want something, it's something you need. We don't want to need, do we? Now here's, as a noun, want is a noun as well. Want as a noun is described as this: a lack, absence, non-existence, or deficiency of something. A dearth, inadequacy, paucity, shortage, or scarcity of something. So an example would be, my Victorian house is in want of repair. It's not necessarily going to get repaired. It just wants it. There's no action here. There's no doing here. There's no having here. The second definition, as far as a noun goes, is, here's that word again, it is a wish, longing, or yearning for something. A wish for something, not to enjoy something. A longing for something, not an expected reception of something. To yearn for it, not possess it. And why do I do this? Why am I saying these things? Is because words matter. In a huge scheme of things, some words may not matter, and part of the 4 agreements is, don't let words matter to you. What you think of me is none of my business, kind of thing. But the words you say in your head, which are the words the universe hears, those are the important ones, because those words, those terms, turn into the big W word. The big W word, where you reveal the divinity in you, where you have the frequency, the vibration, where you're telling the universe, this is my word, this is my decision. That's the words that are important. In wanting, there's usually no sign of abundance or a presence of reception. It has a lack quality, that word want. So we're telling the universe, when we say, I want this, we're telling it that's what we want. We want. And so the universe goes, oh, okay, well, I'll give you more of that not possessing thing, because that's what you're saying. I want this. Okay, well, I'll give you more want, because that's what you want. No problem. Here you go. So the not having of the new car is what's going to show up, or the fresh perspective on a relationship, or the decluttered closet, for God's sakes, or peace in our community. I want peace in our community. What does that mean? Now, let me take a second and saying, like I have with wish, if you start there for 5 seconds, cool. But you got to get out of there. You got to get out of wish, and you got to get out of want as quickly as you can in your mind. Like attracts like. Can't say that enough. Like attracts like. Here's a great quote from Florence Scovel Shinn. Love her. She wrote, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. You throw this, I want, it comes back, you want. You throw this, I have XYZ, it comes back, oh, here's XYZ. Because you've declared it. You've allowed yourself to reveal it into your life. So, of course, what it is best, what I'm saying, is to not use this word at all, this word want. Because it's a confusing word. It confuses us. It doesn't confuse the universe, because the universe is not going to be confused. It's just going to say, okay, that's what you want. But it's confusing to your prayer, to your treatment, to your manifestation work, whatever modality you want to use. We want to stop thinking this low quality words and stop saying this ambiguous word and stop taking that word out to lunch. Want must be gone. Stop wanting and start having. Joe Dispenza reminds us you are not doomed by your genes and hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of your life. So I know it's going to take some time, just like it probably did to get wish out of. I say it sometimes myself. I correct myself pretty immediately, but it's a habit to say that. I want an apple. Of course, I want an apple. So what do I do when I want an apple? I go to the bowl somewhere and pull an apple, or out of the refrigerator, or I go to the store and get an apple. That works in that thing. But when we want something that we may feel is something we may feel might be a little difficult, we're going to stay in wanting. We're going to stay in the difficulty of it. Let's rewire our emotional and mental circuitry. We're talking about appreciation this whole month. Start with appreciation. Appreciate this teaching that you enjoy, that you come to hear, that you read about in different ways. Appreciate the talents you already have, whether they're practiced, whether they're realized, whether they're progressing. You have these talents. Appreciate and cherish, remember that word cherish from last week, that which you have decided is coming home to your life. Now, I want to tell you a little story. There's a story about trappers, and they would, they want to capture monkeys and sell these monkeys to zoos. And so monkeys, they're all swinging through the rainforest as they do, and they're having a good time. And what the trappers would do, and they may still do it, is they would hollow out this coconut, depending on where they are in the world, or some sort of gourd. They would hollow that out, and they're about a football size, these things. They're not little ones, they're the big ones. And they would leave a hole in it. They would drill a hole in it and take out whatever's in there. If there's any food items, coconut and all that. And they would put something in there, like a green banana or something that the monkeys really want. Now, the hole is small. The hole is only big enough for them to put their hand in, right? So then they take this gourd and they tie it with a string or a chain to a tree. So the monkeys can't just, take the gourd and take off. It's attached to a tree. So inside the hollowed out gourd, like I said, they put this delicious green banana or whatever the monkey's gonna like. Green banana evidently is a favorite food of the monkey. Personally, it would have to be French fries or pumpkin pie for me, but that's okay. So as the monkeys swing around in the jungle, they catch a whiff of these green apples, and the trappers would smartly, around this gourd they've tied to the tree, they'd put a few bananas. But now, you're getting a dozen monkeys are coming at the same time. They pick off those freebies like that. And then they're like, but I still smell something. And so eventually one would be attracted to this piece that's in this gourd. And they would put their hand in there and then they would grab it. And it was too small for them to hold on with the fist and get their hand out. Now, all they had to do, of course, was let go, and boom, their hand would come out. But no. They want to grasp on to this. They want to keep this. They want this. And in the wanting, in the knowledge of not having, the lack of it, they're not thinking smartly to figure out a different way, like taking the gourd and doing that until it falls out. No, they don't think of that. So the monkeys try to pull it out and they can't, and they struggle and they struggle and they get tired and they get wounded And usually they just kind of pass out, the others run away, and in the morning, the trappers have a monkey. Now, monkeys aren't dumb. Monkeys are pretty smart. Some of them are smarter than us. But they're acting out of instinct, right? They're acting out of habit like we do, the habit of wanting and not thinking of anything else, of any alternatives to this idea of wanting. So wanting then is a trap. It's a snare. It's a cage of sorts. There's too much not having in wanting. And a lot of why I bring this up is because it's come up for me in the last couple weeks. I want this place to be filled so much that we got to get out of here. We got more than 40 people coming. We can't be here anymore. We got to go to a bigger place. I want that. Not anymore. Because in the wanting, I'm not having. I'm not having the consciousness of having. Wanting and wishing are like, they're simpatico, those two words. Like clinging, like fear, like lack, like limitation, like neediness. It scars us, this word wanting. So we should remove it from our vocabulary. And you might ask how, and I have just a few ways of how. And first, and this is not rocket science here. First, of course, is recognize when you're wanting. And either change that right away, change the word, change the idea to having or some version of having, declaring, revealing, however you want to put it. But when you recognize you're wanting, not only is that word in there, and maybe the word doesn't show up, but the feeling shows up, the emotion shows up, and you can tell that. Even if you don't hear the word, you can tell that because you can feel like you're clinging to this idea, and not in a good way. Oh my gosh, if I don't have this, the world will end in some way. Like the monkeys did, or like, when you hold a bar of soap and you hold it and it's wet and you hold it too much and you're clinging, what happens to the soap? I'm not going to toss my phone, thank you, but boom! That's another thing that happens when we want so much. We grip it, and it just flies off. It flies away. Our power just goes away. We give it away. We feel desperate. Number 2, take a step back and breathe. That's all. That's so common. I'm going to say that almost every time I come up with a list. Just step back and breathe. Take a second. Concentrate on something else. Distract yourself with things you're grateful for. Breathing. Not having COVID. Whatever. Change your state. Change your state of mind, your state of being. Number 3, identify your true sources of happiness. If it gets to that point, like it has for me sometimes, then write down things that give you joy. Write them down with your hand. Don't type them. Write them. It's a different connection between your hand and your brain and your consciousness than typing. Number 4, celebrate what's meaningful. This is different than the list. What's meaningful? What's meaningful to you now? Is it meaningful for you to do family stuff or to go out partying like you did when you were 20? Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. But at any point of your life, even at 25, maybe, I just don't want to stay up all night and scream and yell. And, every weekend, maybe once every few months, if I go to a Doobie Brothers concert, you want to scream and have a few somethings and have a good time. But not every weekend anymore. I'd rather hang out with my friends or my family, have a barbecue, watch a movie, talk about this, that, come to church or whatever, or a club. Overindulging, kind of a similar thing. Do I want to overindulge in this, that, or the other? Or do I want to know how to have a fun and healthy lifestyle at the same time? Because you can. Absolutely can. Do I want to celebrate and cherish every moment, moment by moment, or just live life in a frenzied bit of excitement everywhere? Everything has to be exciting. I go from excitement to excitement to excitement, but I never cherish, I never really experience these exciting things because as soon as it's done, I got to go to the next one. Is that how you want to live your life? With no memories, with no enjoying of the moment? You get the picture. And if you must get support, come to any of us, give us a call, email us, we'll contact you, we'll give you support. We will know the truth with you so that you can step away from the word want, the word wish, et cetera, and step into the haves and the reveals and the declares. Because we all want some version of these 6 things: certainty, significance that our life has been, is significant in some way. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to become president. You don't have to find the cure for this, that, or the other. Variety. We all want a little variety. We all want love and connection, whatever that means to you. We all want to grow in some way, shape, or form. And we all want to contribute, which is a little bit about, there's a little significance and contribution can be similar. But we all want to contribute, we want to share, we want to give. And we all want those 6 things in one way or another, sometimes more of this, sometimes more of that. That's a whole other talk that I can get to another time. And of course, we all want expensive chocolate. And like I said before, French fries. But the more we have a tight grip on that wanting, it's like if I drive by a place and I decide I want French fries, I have to make the decision to have it because it'll be fun and it's a treat, or do I want to go through the whole idea, well, it's fried food and then potatoes do this to, your glucose count and all these things, all these words. So if I think all those things and then I go get the fries, am I going to enjoy those fries? No. Now, if I find myself doing that several days a week, that's another question. That's another thing. But it's that wanting that just puts your mind to all crazy things. And now, of course, a quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes from our favorite book, this thing called you. Spirit withholds nothing from you. We have to remember that, especially if that word want or wish shows up. Spirit withholds nothing from you. To believe that God refuses the good you desire is to deny the goodness of God or the universe or the divine. The law still is that it is done unto you as you believe. No matter how subtle the thoughts of lack, fear, uncertainty, or loneliness may be, they do not belong to you. Your affirmation can erase them. Become master of your thinking, hence master of your fate. As one of our teachers used to say, I'm not sure where he got this, maybe he made it up, you are the believer, not the belief. We got to remember that. We're the power, we're the composer, we're the sculptor, we're the playwright, we're the novelist. We're the decider, the revealer, the declarer, and the creator of our thoughts, feelings, and belief. So remove any wanting. Just remove that from your vocabulary and believe in your having. And just like we're going to watch the numbers and the love and the energy of this spiritual center grow and exceed any thoughts that we could even imagine, watch your experiences step into fabulousness. Thank you so much. Namaste. Let us place our hands on our hearts and together declare our love offering blessing. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you for your blessed love offerings. Are gone through their contributions, and we thank you, those of you online. And Reverend Gary's going to pass around the basket, and please support the vision, especially this month, the vision of our center, which is not only to vibrate at the speed of the divine, but to share that in everyone that comes up here, everyone that sings for us, and there'll be others, and the energy that we have here to share that. And so we thank you for that. Announcements wise, I have none, except that we'll be back here next week. And so they're back. Hi. So get on social media, go to Venmo, all those fun things that you just watched. Okay, so let us move forward. Let us do one more little prayer. Let's pray out, okay? Let's pray out. Let's do this. Hands together. And rub. Slowly. Do it slowly at first. You start feeling that warmth. It's friction. I know there's some biomechanical thing going on, you know, the electricity between us. And as you get faster, though, you can start feeling that warmth. And then when it gets really, really warm, and maybe even to the point where you're like, okay, I need to stop this. Go ahead and stop. And then slowly, I know we've done this before, but I love this. Sometimes I do this without you people. Slowly move your hands away from each other. And do you feel that? Do you feel that? I know that's friction. I know you can explain it away with electromagnetic, this, that, or the other. But that is energy, man. That is the energy you've made. So let's know within that energy is the divine that is within us. And that is the energy of manifestation. That is the energy of having a have consciousness. That is the energy of the divine within us. And you can scientific yourself to sleep with an explanation of that. I can still feel my hands vibrating. But you got to know that is the same energy that the universe is giving you. We don't always feel that vibration. We are not always aware of that vibration. And many of us, maybe even most of us, need to sit and be mindful and intentional about feeling that energy, like we do in the guided meditation. But let us know right here and now that that energy is always here. You don't have to rub your hands together. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to even pray or do a spiritual mind treatment. You just have to have the have consciousness. You just have to declare what it is you're bringing into your next experience. You have to be intentional. And with this spiritual mind treatment, we are treating our minds to the knowing, to the wisdom, to the having, to the being of this consciousness of revealing into our lives, whatever that XYZ is that came up moments ago. I am knowing this for each and every one of us right here and now. I am knowing this. I am declaring this. I am revealing this here and now. I feel the light. I feel the love. I feel the power and presence of the divine in each and every one of us. And as my hand continues to vibrate, I vibrate at the speed of the divine, manifesting that XYZ into not only my next experience, but your next experience for your XYZ. I do this in appreciation. I do this in gratitude. I am thankful for it because I know that is a gift that is already here, right here and now. And I release this word in love and joy to the universe, to the law that says, yes, you got it right away, working. Here it comes. As together ending this Sunday celebration, we say together, so it is, hallelujah, amen, amen, ashe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, everyone. Blessings to you all. Have a most fabulous week. Namaste. You all do what
right,
you
let's
need to
do this.
do. We're going to chat. See ya.
At the brink of a glorious ride. We're now in sync, we don't have to think, just decide. Embrace this journey, clarity and ease. Acceptance brings you more reward when life is yours to please. Here we are at a peak where now we can fly. No fear, let's commandeer passion we placed high. Put ourselves in motion, live our life for full. Step outside your orbit, push against the pull. Gonna be that light, that roaring sound, crushing wind, the grinding ground, and that urgency, demanding cry. Power of love and the freedom that drive. First the fire spark that's deep. Taste of desire, heart and mystique. Truth that unfolds here and beyond. Here we are in a light we've been dying to feel. We're the evidence, shedding hesitance. Let's uncover and reveal. Absorb the beauty, makes right now so pure. Unbound and undaunted, there's only one choice for sure. Here we are at a place with no boundaries or signs. About to take stage, finally engage, reshaping all our lives. Determined and steady, we know our time is now. Anxious and ready, profoundly we will bow to be that link that firmly underscores the power of love, the hunger for more, be the beautiful force of breathing energy, relentless source, sense of synergy, be that truth that rocks your roll, waves and rails, soothes the soul, truth that unfolds here and beyond. Here's our moment, if we have this right. right away. We didn't get this far just to get this far. We better act on what we say. We gotta be that light, that roaring sound, crushing wind and the grinding ground. Urgency, the demanding cry, power of love, freedom and fly. Burst of fire, spark that stink, taste of desire, heart that must sink, truth that unfolds here and beyond. Hey, we did that right here, the Right Here, Right No band. We got William Lendenberg on bass, Bobby Backbeat Yost on the drums, and I'm Steve Apperson. So let's